Hey there, Regina Anley here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. Now, in full disclosure, there's water in my cup this morning. Just wanted to say. And I have my good friend Maggie Carey here with me today, and I am so excited for this conversation. Welcome, Maggie.
Oh, Regina, I am equally excited. Thank you so much for having me. I just can't wait to chit chat. We always have such amazing conversations.
I know. And for everybody else who's watching or catches us on replay, let me tell you a little bit about Maggie. Maggie is the CEO and founder of Master It Media and Painless Posting. Yes, we are going to talk about social media today and how to get seen, right? She blends decades of experience in IT, and check this out, her theatrical background. So she really knows how to project and make people listen, to empower entrepreneurs with impactful social media strategies. She's a dynamic speaker and social media expert, and she simplifies social media success for businesses. She offers innovative tools and insightful workshops as well. She's a featured speaker and presenter with the New York Public Library, Chambers of Commerce, SCORE, if you know who SCORE is, I've used SCORE many times in my past, and many other business organizations. She also co-hosts and moderates LinkedIn Local Hudson Valley, produces the Painless Posting podcast, and has authored essential guides such as social media posting ideas to combat writer's block and the HELP acronym process. And she's a recipient of the Lynn and Buzz Burr Excellence in Communication Award and Broadway's World's 2020 Regional Performer of the Decade. How cool is this? What a background. Talk about unique backgrounds.
I'm one of those people, I'm a shiny object. Like, if there's something fun and exciting to do, I want to be in the middle of it. So I have a very wide range of interests. Anything around climbing outdoors is not one of them.
That's my thing.
We all have our specialties. You will find me more on stage or in a theater than you will outdoors, unfortunately. I love to sit outside with a nice cup of tea or coffee and enjoy the outdoor air, but I'm more along the lines of chill, not work.
There you go. Hey, and that's awesome. That actually sounds pretty awesome to me. I'm good with you sitting outside and doing nothing too.
Yeah.
But I know that, with your theatrical background, and so like with your theatrical background, it's been buzzing around in my head.
Yeah.
When it comes to social media posting and coming up with stuff, it's almost like acting, isn't it? I mean, it's like being on stage and you have to project and you have to get the audience to pay attention and you have to get them to, you have to get them engaged and want to see you before they walk out of the theater, right? I mean,
Right.
Isn't there a huge analogy that we could use between theater and social media posting?
It absolutely is. Now, I have decades in IT. I was programming in the 80s, right? But I was also performing in the 80s. As a child, I always acted, right? Like, that was my thing. That was my, hobby. And I wanted to be an actor. Like, I told my mother, we live in New York, and I'm like, I want to be an actor. And she goes, oh, no, you're going to get a job that makes money, and you are not going to be an actor. So I went into computer science because that made a whole hell of a lot of sense. But with the social media world, like when I was designing websites, it was, graphic design. When you're performing, it's about, sometimes it's a subtlety, right? You're not screaming at people. You're not yelling. You're not, hey, look at me, right? What you're doing is you're drawing them in, you're enticing them. One of the things I love about performing is your emoting will inspire other people to laugh, cry, think, maybe change their mind about an opinion they had, right? The power of performance is just insane. I mean, I'm sure we've all, I need to make a t-shirt that says I speak in movie quotes, right? Because I love to watch, and learn from things. Sometimes, yeah, I like the fluff, but I'm really a lifelong learner. We were talking about books earlier, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to have your book here, but I actually gave it to my husband to give me as a Christmas present, and he refused to let me unwrap it, right? So know that I value that book. But here's the thing. Get back to your question: performance, theater, entertainment on social media. Look how TikTok took off, right? Facebook took years to get to what TikTok did in a year. It was insane. So why? Well, because it was entertaining. It was different. It was short. It was easy. It was quick. We now have, it used to be 3 seconds to get somebody's attention on social media, which I thought was like, right? I was reading a recent, actually listening to a podcast episode, and this expert was saying it has reduced down to 1 second. 1 second. It takes you longer to say 1 second than 1 second. What the heck? So we have a lot of work to do when it comes to social media. And I think that my whole thing is, look, that there's virality out there, right? Like you can go viral, and that's great, but it's hard to do. And basically, sometimes those viral posts are wonderful, and oh, wow, that's fantastic. You're viral. Okay. Did it get you any clients? Did it get you in front of the right people? Did it totally screw up the algorithm and now you don't know what the heck's going on? So my focus to help people whenever I speak is simplify. You're going to get advice from many, many people that are out there, and some of it is really good and really sharp. But if you have the time to do it, good luck. You can't do it all. Have a path that makes it simple for you and doable. And that's how you're going to be successful in social media. And we can just drop the mic now because that's it.
And that makes perfect sense because, the challenges, though, that people have is not just what to post, but consistently posting. So right now, and I know the algorithm, the ever-changing algorithm, it used to give you huge credit if you posted a lot. And then all of a sudden it said, well, if you post too much, we're going to start dropping you. And, it changes all the time. And right now, I actually was listening to a podcast not too long ago because the last thing that I've heard that I've also been sharing is that, do one post a day, one quality post a day on Facebook, on your personal page. If you're going to post out there, one post to keep the algorithm going, but it needs to be an engaging post that people are, doing something with, and don't do more than that. Well, recently I heard that now they're back to like 3 posts. And I'm like, okay, is that true? Is the algorithm really doing that? The thing is that who do you believe anymore?
Yeah. And here's the thing. What algorithm are we talking about? The one that's on Facebook, the one that's on Instagram, the one that's on LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn had I just did a recent podcast episode about how LinkedIn totally revamped their whole algorithm. And what they're doing is they're leveraging something that we are both passionate about, and they're leveraging AI. So they're using AI to help determine how to put your content out and in front of other people. Because look, the goal of the algorithm is to get you to stay on their platform. So my thing is then create content that's almost serial-like, right? So when I do a podcast episode, I take that podcast episode and I intentionally write it so that I can chop it up into easy 1 minute, under 1 minute clips. Now, when you're doing that, it's a series of, right? They'll go to that one. Oh, wait, but there's more on that topic. Let me go. So you can do that. I mix and mingle a lot of things. I also, because I have a very simple system that makes me it makes it easier to publish on multiple platforms. I create that content and it goes out on 8 different platforms and it easily is one. So when I'm writing my content, I may be targeting it towards Instagram, but I'm posting it everywhere. Or I may target it to LinkedIn, but I'm posting it everywhere. That to me, and I get that a lot. I'm like, oh, you're everywhere. How do you do this? I'm like, it's real simple. You have to have a process. That's the thing you mentioned, how, consistency. And you also mentioned valuable content. I'd rather see somebody post once a day than post 3 times a day. And it's, content, right? As my kids say, meh, right? It's meh. This is not where we're looking. What we're looking at in our social media is how can we teach, educate, inform, or entertain our people. When we recently attended a conference and they had this flashy show to start it off with black light, and it was really cool, right? And it kind of went with their vibe, right? And it got people going. We need content that attracts people to us and, I dare say, deters people away from us. We want the right people to follow us. If somebody's looking to go viral, I'm not the person for them. If somebody's looking to simplify the process and take all the noise that's out there in the world about how to do your social media for a business, and they want to simplify it, that's the person for me. And I think when our listeners are thinking about their own business, they're people they want to attract, focus on them. If you focus on your ideal audience, on your client, on your, like I say, you don't like talking in front of people, you don't like recording on your phone, here's the trick. You get that thing, you take the phone, and you imagine this phone is going to be your ideal client. And you talk to them like we talk. That's why I love interviews, because we're talking and communicating. I'm looking at you and your reaction and how you are, you're reacting to what I'm saying. It's different. When we imagine we're talking to a human being instead of to a device, our whole tone changes, our posture changes, our facial expression changes, our, what we do with our hands. If you're Italian, it's all over the place. This is so passionate for me. And I want people to be afraid. Don't be afraid of social media. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Be out there. Find the easy way that works for you to do your social. And that's kind of where I want to kind of like piggyback on what you were saying. How should we focus on the algorithm? Have it there, it's there. But look at your own analytics. That's the key. The algorithm is going to change. So if you keep chasing the algorithm, my friends, you are going to drive yourself crazy. Look at your analytics. And that's why with painless posting, right? I aggregate all the analytics from every single platform that we support. So I can tell one post did really well on LinkedIn. It didn't do great on Instagram, or it did great. I was surprised. I had a post that went crazy on TikTok. It was about LinkedIn. I wasn't dancing, my friends. It was just information on optimizing your LinkedIn profile. What are some things that you found? And think about this. We've got some people popping in the audience here. What are some of the things you found in your social media that surprised you, that people liked or, engaged in? Do more of that. Not the exact same thing, but think about how you can do more of that.
You just jam-packed a ton of stuff in there. It was all fabulous. Yeah, and it was all fabulous. And I didn't want to interrupt. So with my book, I have the 4 key components to all content, great content. So it's grab their attention, spark their interest, provide massive value, and then give them an action invitation, right? And so it's so important. We at that 1 second, right? We got to grab their attention, stop the scroll. So when you think about what you're posting, that should be, first and foremost when you're creating it, what is actually going to grab the attention of my audience.
Mm.
But then you went into something about, and I know how you do painless posting. You talked about, now, you can post to like 8 different platforms at one time.
Yes.
Now, I've heard in the past, so I want your expert opinion on this, that posting the same content to multiple platforms is bad.
Yes. And you will hear that quite often. And here's my thing. When I write my content, it's the same image, but I can tweak by platform. So I can go in one place, and LinkedIn, I may beef it up a little bit. I'll shorten it for Threads and Pinterest, things like that. What I find is that when people you're 8 timesing your effort, or not your effort, you're 8 timesing your result with, 1 minute of effort and 8 different platforms. So how do I explain this with, I don't want to insult anybody out there, because it is true that when you post organically on platform, it is a little better. But here's the thing. Do you have time? And I'm saying you in the general sense, not you, Regina, or your audience, but do people have the time to post on multiple platforms? Maybe not. Could you imagine creating multiple content specifically designed for every single platform and publishing it? No. So what I do when I write my content is I mix it up. Like as I was saying, I'll this post is going to be, I think it'll do well on Instagram. This one I think will do really well on Facebook, and so on. So I mix it up a little bit, but why not, right? I'm telling you, more people post, and this is my clients as well, and they've noticed an increase. They weren't posting content. They weren't doing it. So what they would do is maybe they would do a Facebook post one day. And so they were posting 3 or 4 times a week, but only once per platform. So they weren't going anywhere. Oh. So now it's again, like you were saying, 1 a day is, look, if you can do 1 post a day, that's great. If you can do 3 to 4 posts, that I would say would be the minimum a week. So 3 to 4 posts a week, minimum, once a day. When you look at it that way, I post 3 times a day, different types of content. So, it'll be a static image, it'll be a reel, it'll be a pickup from my podcast. Mm-hmm. Share that out. Now, I will notice that sometimes LinkedIn for me is my best platform. So here's what I suggest. When you post content, an hour before my content would go out on LinkedIn, I should be active on LinkedIn. Then my post goes out. I only pick LinkedIn to be engaged in, right? So the algorithm, as we were talking about, and this goes for any of them, they want you engaged in the platform. They want to watch how they're watching, how much time you spend. They're watching what you click on. They're putting things in front of you that they think you're going to like, and they're putting your content in front of the people that they think. So engage, post, and then comment. So you really have to keep an eye on your content in a 2-hour period, 1 hour before, 1 hour after. Engage, post, react.
Engage, post,
react. So people are going to comment, you've got to reply. Right. So when you're scheduling your posts, you not only want to know, well, what's the best time, but I need to reply back. Right.
Right. So engage, post, react.
And I will, your process that you mentioned in your book, right, is very similar to the HELP process. We were talking about the acronym, right? So I talk about hook. I talk about explore their pain point, right? Because we've got to be empathetic. We've got to reach out, lay out the solution, which is of course your solution, or it could be just your intellectual property, things, and then P is prompt the action. tell them where to go, tell them what to do next. So when you're looking at creating the content, I know a lot of people, they'll just put like Merry Christmas and they'll put it out there, or they'll just say a line like, or they'll just put the photo up. It behooves you to have both. And this is why, we have a caption writer that's based on the help process. That's an AI tool. We also tell people, like, don't forget the caption is important as well as the visual. Sometimes content that's too text heavy gets ignored. Sometimes the text pops it. If it's just a picture of you with a picture of you with a picture of you, they're like, who cares? Have something that's going to attract them. And YouTube is massive with that.
Mm-hmm.
You have that thumbnail that's, there's every platform has its flavor, has its own like audience that likes different things. And we have to look at those platforms and determine, how am I going to tweak my post to take advantage of that platform.
So again, packed in a ton of stuff there. I'm going to back up to what you said earlier about you and your LinkedIn platform. And
Yes.
You said you're posting to 8 platforms, but the platform that you pay most attention to is where your audience specifically hangs out, which is LinkedIn. So you're
Yes.
posting to all these other places. However, your engagement and all this other stuff, the real stuff that you're doing there, is all done on LinkedIn. That's a huge point, because a lot of people get bogged down because they're like, well, I have to go out and put comments on Instagram and on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on YouTube and here and there. And that's what gets them overwhelmed and bogged down, going, I just don't have time to do all this. Mm-hmm. It's really key. That's a really key thing, that pick the platform that your audience hangs out. It's not where you want to be, it's where your audience is.
Yeah, I had a friend who was very angry about 4 years ago. She was like, this was before Musk, but she's like, I am so angry that my audience is on Twitter because I don't like Twitter. And she goes, but that's where I get the most traction, right? What probably was happening was her content was written in a way that appealed to that audience. I've picked LinkedIn, and it's not just because I like LinkedIn, which I do. It's the perfect platform for me. In theory, I'm a business to business. I run a LinkedIn local, like it's my jam, but that's where I get the most engagement. And that's where my engagement gets the most traction. So when you're looking at your time, you're also looking at your ROI, return on investment of your time, not just your money. Where are you spending the most time? And I teach about using the free components of every platform. So for example, somebody had recently asked me, I'm on LinkedIn. Do I verify myself? There's, on Instagram and Facebook, you have to pay for verification. It's a blue check mark. On LinkedIn, they have a shield and it's free. So I said, well, why wouldn't you want to do it? Let's play devil's advocate. Why wouldn't you want to get verified? Because some people don't want to, have to, because you have to go through, put your license and blah, 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 which I totally respect. But as a business owner, as somebody who wants people to connect with me, having an optimized profile. So if people want to walk away with one tip, you say, I packed a lot in, this is going to be the one tip I would say. If you haven't taken a fresh look at your profiles on every single platform that you're on, this is your friendly reminder. Your profile is so powerful. And we have tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude. Go in there, have it audit your profile and say, how can I improve this so that I am attracting my ideal audience? Imagine you're a social media, you're the social media expert on Instagram, Facebook, whichever platform you're looking at. And you also made a very valid point when you talked about posting on your personal profiles. When you post on a personal profile, like on Facebook, I don't know if people realize, but in Facebook, you have the ability to put down a ton of information, including your business links. I have a picture on my personal profile that's 3 images. It's me working at a computer, it's my family, and it's me as John Adams, that's where I won my performer of the decade. And it when you click on that image, it has a link to my website. It has a description, my loves, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it needs an update, but even with me, like you have to update your profiles, keep them fresh. Your business change. I know, Regina, you are not doing the same exact thing you did a year ago. And I'm sure many people who are listening, you're not that your business is not the same as it was a year ago. So if you haven't updated your profile in a year, my friend, this is a great way to say new year, new start.
And that is a great reminder. So if you get nothing else out of this, and you really should have gotten a ton of stuff out of this, because this has been jam-packed with amazing information. But if you haven't gotten anything out of it yet, which I would be amazed if you haven't, that one right there is key. Because here's the other thing that I'll point out too, and Maggie, you can agree. I'm guessing you're going to agree with it. Is that when it comes to the algorithm and stuff like that, all of these platforms, they don't like it when you try to sell stuff on their platform, because that's how they make money. I mean, they have people pay for ads. So if you start selling stuff, the algorithm picks up, hey, she keeps trying to sell stuff on her profile and she's not paying us to do that. So they're not happy about that.
Right.
However, your profile images, your cover pictures, they don't pay attention to that. You can actually say, hey, go to my website. Hey, check out my new book. Hey, check out this program I got. You can put that in your profile picture, and it's not gonna pick it up.
Yeah, we talk
capitalize on it.
Yeah, and be that, that thing where when I'm at a speaking gig, right, I will share that. Like I shared I was going to be here, right? I created a post, I took it, I shared it. I emailed friends on LinkedIn. I messaged people on Instagram. I messaged people. Why am I doing that instead of just email? Because the algorithm likes me talking to other people, because then they say, oh, she's active on the platform. When you do things like that, it helps. The other thing is, and I recently talked to, there was a brander that I met with back in 2019, and he picked up a pen and he said to me, you'll always see me with an orange pen, because orange is part of my brand and it'll, right. And he said, you always have to wear your brand. Well, I took that to heart. First of all, as you can tell, purple is my color. The fact that my name is in blue is freaking me out. I'm just telling you right now. I respect the process, but this is freaking me out. And it was funny. I was designing graphics with one of my people. I was teaching a class, and I was showing them some of the new interesting things you can do with Canva. So cool. And I was using an example, and I pulled up a template and showing them how to edit it. And one of them said, it's driving you crazy that that's not purple, isn't it? I said, yes, can I change it, please? Here's the thing. I'm identifiable. You talk about being a unicorn, right? You have to have something that triggers a reminder. How are you going to stand out in a crowd? And I tell you, and it's not just because I'm theatrical. It's not, look, I have stage presence. I walk into a room, I'm exuding energy. I was trained, I'm theatrically trained. So I know when I walk into a room, I've got this posture, I've got this energy, I'm excited. I always love to be out and about. So, it just comes out. I'm definitely an extreme extrovert, but you don't have to be an extrovert to have stage presence. You don't have to be this. You have to be identifiable. What makes you stand out? And you have to live that, not just on your social media, my friends. This is business. We're talking business. Your brand is the foundation of everything you do. So what is something that makes you stand out? For me, it's the purple thing. And let me tell you something. I just talked about purple for maybe 2 minutes. I guarantee you, somewhere in your life today, you are going to go through and you're going to see purple. It's not like blue, where you see blue all the time. Purple is one of those colors that you notice. You will say, oh, that lady that Regina had on her coffee and talked, with Regina, that she liked purple. Oh my gosh, right? I now have something identifiable. When you go to networking events, you stand out in front of a sea. We were at an event that had 2,000 people. People noticed that, oh, Maggie's wearing purple. Oh, that lady's wearing purple again. Oh, look at her nails. She's purple, 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 right? Like, it's an identifiable factor. It makes me stand out. It makes it easy to say, oh, that woman that was of a certain age that had long, dark hair? All right, you just named up people that were in that room.
Right.
Social media is the same way. When somebody looks at your posts, is it you? Part of the thing that we do with Master It Media is I teach people how to create templates. So one of the freebies that I'm giving you has what I call it's a challenge, a 7-day challenge, but it has templates that you can reuse, repurpose, refresh, right? Make your life simple, but please have something identifiable for yourself. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a color. It could be like Regina has a unicorn necklace, right? And I noticed that. Every time I see a unicorn, who do I think of?
Yep. And that's what we call it in my world. It's finding your inner unicorn. And one of my lines is to unleash your inner unicorn and, be that unique version of you, so that when somebody says something, you're the first person who comes to mind.
Yeah.
And, it's amazing what happens. And it doesn't take that long for people to associate with who you are and what you do. Like you said, you, Maggie, the people who are on here who may have never met you before, they're going to see something purple later and go, oh, she had that purple lady on this morning. Mm-hmm. When I was listening to her, and that purple lady, oh yeah, she was great. She talked about all the social media stuff. They might not remember your name, but they're going to remember you as the purple lady, just like they remember me as the unicorn lady.
Mm-hmm. So you better love whatever you do.
Exactly.
I started small, and it was a shirt. It was it was makeup, right? Now I have ends that are purple. I don't think I could do the whole purple thing. I got to be honest.
I used to actually have a purple streak in my hair because I love purple too.
Yeah, I think the purple streak would be cool. If I had hair like yours, mine is all like half gray, half black, so it wouldn't really work, right? But I would definitely, if I'm all white, this is going to be a purple.
Oh, there you go. I can't wait to see that someday.
Yeah.
So, hey, we are out of time. We are actually over time.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be at all. This has just been I knew we were going to have such an awesome conversation here. And just so much gold has been dropped in this conversation. And I know you have some freebies. And I just checked out the new page, and it has got to me, so I have it.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you go to socialmediafreebies.com, that's a page on my website that will give you a bunch of my freebies. Whenever I teach for New York Public Library or SCORE, I am it's giving, right? It's giving of my time to help other business owners get unstuck. So with a freebie, this gives you help. This gives you a starting point. And that 7-day post one is fantastic. There's one with my help process that has a caption writer. So you can go in there, click on it, opens up in a chat GPT, and you can start typing. Like, it helps you make your posting easier. With painless posting, if you want to learn more about that, you know where to find me. You just go to that website, and my contact information will be emailed to you. But I've got to tell you, we were just released. You're one of the first to hear this. I haven't even announced it on my page yet. So this is massive. We just released a beta test for any of our subscribers. They can get this to create your image, to create an AI image right from within our platform. So there's so much you can do. Like we've had for years the ability, before ChatGPT blew up, we had the ability to create a caption within our platform with AI. Now we have the ability to create an image. And I've got to tell you, I was working with one of my clients yesterday. We were playing with it. Man, it was solid. And it was, I dare say, better than Canva's image creator. We played with Canva and tried to do the same thing. It did not land as well. Remember, AI is the worst it's ever going to be. So it will get better on all platforms. But I'm so excited, Regina. Our world is changing fast and furious. Be around smart people like Regina. You will never be in lack of getting great ideas.
And you as well. I mean, and that's exactly the whole point of Coffee with Regina, is to bring these experts on so that, you know, we can make sure that you have the best of the best. And I see Michael is here watching us from LinkedIn, and we
Hey,
had Sean out here on YouTube earlier. And, you know, so I mean, we've got folks bouncing in and out here. And, you know, if you get nothing else from here, go to socialmediafreebies.com, because we are so out of time. And I am so appreciative of you being here today, because this has been such an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Maggie, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me as your guest. It was a pleasure. And thanks to those people who joined us live. Mike is one of my dear friends from my networking world. So it's nice to see people who are popping in and getting ready to celebrate a nice, hopefully pleasant Christmas season. This is so cool. Like, to do this, I was like, I'd rather be doing this than wrapping presents.
Hey, you know what? You are like my best gift ever right now. So this has been awesome.
Thank you
so much.
I had a blast.
All right. And we will see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.